My name is Lisa Newberry. I am a language arts teacher by trade and am in my second year of being a media specialist at the high school level. I have chosen student-centered learning as my first core learning theory. Student-centered learning, also known as learner-centered education, broadly encompasses methods of teaching that shift the focus of instruction from the teacher to the student. It focuses on learner autonomy and independence by putting responsibility for learning in the hands of students. The teacher is simply a facilitator. It is grounded in constructivist learning theories. Constructivism is basically a theory based on observation and scientific study about how people learn. It says that people construct their own understanding and knowledge of the world through experiences and reflecting on those experiences. The notion is that the learner is the central entity who must be actively engaged in seeking and constructing meaning. It is important to integrate authentic, reflective, and collaborative learning experiences when designing student-centered learning. I chose this theory because I grew up in a world where teacher-centered learning was the norm. In fact, I began my career 22 years ago with a teacher-centered classroom. I graduated from UGA in 1993 with a degree in English education and was excited to have my own classroom. Let me describe it to you. I taught my students much like I was taught. There were no computers. I carried my gradebook around in my book bag. I figured out their grades with a pencil and a calculator. We spent a lot of time reading and analyzing great literary works like Macbeth, The Great Gatsby, and Beowulf. I taught in a straightforward approach that relied on a chalk and talk model. Yes, I had a chalkboard back then. My students sat in rows and I lectured while they took notes. They had vocab tests on Fridays and learned grammar and punctuation by skill and drill. Sounds fun, huh? A lot has changed in the past 22 years. I've gotten older and technology has given me a lot more to work with. Today, students are more aware of and can communicate with the world around them. Young people are more aware of language and of teachers who are not keeping up with the times. Students' questions are more complex because they can Google answers to even the most obscure questions. Students in the 21st century language arts classroom need to explore the world and literature on their own terms. They need to exist in a classroom where learning is the focus, not the teaching. The language arts classroom is a place where the main academic knowledge and skills are those that are learned by doing, not by studying and completing exercises. Students learn to read better by reading more often, they learn how to write better by writing more frequently, and they learn grammar by reading and listening to others who speak correctly, not by skill and drills. For students to really study language arts, they should submerge themselves into the language and curriculum. That is, they should use the language by being listeners and readers, and they should also be creators of the language, which are speakers and writers. There should not be a teacher at the front of the room lecturing while students write down everything the teacher says. The students should be working with the language itself. They should be reading and creating from there. No matter what technology is used, and there's a lot to choose from, it should be authentic if it is to be truly student-centered. One way to center learning around the student using technology is through video games. Students can work alone or in groups to solve problems presented in the games. On their own terms. Their learning is extended beyond the classroom. They develop critical thinking and higher order thinking skills in a safe and protected environment while reinforcing skills and concepts learned in class. No more skill and drill. They are exposed to the latest technology while being interactive with others, especially while participating in multiplayer gaming. They learn cooperative learning skills while working in small groups, and video games give teachers the choice for many opportunities for differentiation because games use these. Some examples of current video games that can be used in the language arts classroom include Schoolhouse Rock Grammar Rock, which teaches students parts of speech, Gone Home, a first-person interactive story adventure game that focuses on exploration of a mansion and examines common household objects within the home, and Minecraft. How does Minecraft get students to read better? Because on average, students read 10 minutes a day in English class, but they read 70 minutes at home as they're going up on games. Those websites that teach people how to play are full of challenging stuff. Video game sites are written at nearly the 12th grade level, with 5% of them written in academic jargon. The lesson here is the same one John Dewey gave us a century ago. To get kids reading and writing, give them a real-world task they care about. These days, that's games. Games are fun, have goals, are interactive, involve problem-solving, involve interaction, and have storylines that involve our emotions. They are the perfect technology to use in the language arts classroom.